Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week as essentially flooding the system with money?
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do that?
There is no end to our ability to do that.
Is the Fed just going to print money?
That's literally what Congress has told us to do. That's the authority that they've given us, to print money and provide liquidity into the financial system. And that's how we do it. We create it electronically, and then we can also print it with the Treasury Department, print it so that you can get money out of your ATM. I heard from a bank in our region, a well-to-do customer came in and said, I want to withdraw $600,000 of cash. Now, we can supply all the cash that the banks need to meet their customers' concerns, but it just speaks to the fear and the uncertainty that is rippling through the economy.
To the person who is about to grab their car keys and go to the ATM and take out $3,000, you say what?
You don't need to. Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system.
Will the Federal Reserve ensure that banks have all the cash they need to satisfy whatever withdrawals may be coming?
Yes, this is the fundamental reason the Federal Reserve exists.
All the cash you could ever want or need, unless you're a flood victim or a hurricane damage victim in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee. Yeah. If you're one of them, fuck you. Now, on the other hand, if you're buying Swiss ski resorts as a Ukrainian oligarch, we got several hundreds of billions for you.
Or if you're bombing every country around you in the Middle East, we can give you as much money as you need.
Right? I mean, those pager bombs could not be cheap. I mean, the pagers themselves were probably cheap. They were wiring up the bombs for them. That had to cost a pretty penny.
Yep.
Plus shipping. I mean, they had to have them shipped from Taiwan to somewhere that they could install the bombs and then ship them. Like, that's a double shipping. Y'all know how expensive shipping is? Fuck.
Shit, international? Dude. You kidding?
So I was just looking at shipping some coffee to 2-Bit. For 5 bags of coffee, it was $124 to ship it.
To Australia.
It's only about as far away as you could be.
I know, right?
Oh mercy. Yeah, the wives had to ship some stuff to like England and shit, and it's real expensive. Sometimes we wonder why like people are willing to pay so much, like order some like products like tinctures and stuff, and then we get to thinking about it and we're like, you know what, it is Europe. There's a good chance this shit's like illegal over there or something, you know? It's like, what's our legal liability?
For your arrest, Ag.
Yeah.
Ag's like, order everything you want from us. We don't even check legality. We'll just send it everywhere.
I mean, I assume that if there was a problem, they just confiscated it like in customs or something. I mean, I don't think.
Once it's there, it's your problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's, I don't really think anybody would get in any actual legal trouble, but I don't know that answer.
And I mean, the odds of England trying to extradite some redneck from Florida is pretty low.
For selling some tincture, like
unless you do hate speech. Unless you do a hate speech.
Right now, clean up your Twitter, otherwise they might come after you for that. But
you're done, man. They look at your Twitter.
That's why there's an issue with the black skull cap tincture. It's not what you guys think. It's actually a plant. Man, Swiss ski resorts, that has just got to be a whole level of like highfalutin. Like I would just stand out like a sore thumb. Like you couldn't even dress me up and make me fit in there. You know what I mean? Like that's just a whole nother world of people that like I don't understand, My God, a whole nother caliber of human that frequents Swiss ski resorts, let alone buys one. I don't know who you're talking about particularly, but that
isn't normal for everybody.
That's just a whole James Bond kind of class that I don't come anywhere close to touching.
Dad, you belong in that class more than they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't remember that story? It came out sometime last summer, back in like the summer of 23. It turned out like all of these hundreds of billions of dollars that we were sending to Ukraine were not actually going towards the war effort or towards the people of Ukraine or like
really
or anything like that. It turned out it was all going to all these oligarchs and like highly connected government officials and stuff. And then they were turning around and taking it and buying Swiss ski resorts. So
And probably donating back to the DNC.
I'm sure.
They at least comp their rooms.
Yeah. Like, here, we'll pay for you to stay here.
Let's see how many.
Swiss helps with us.
Let's see how many vacations the Democrats have taken to Swiss ski resorts.
Well, they go for the climate conference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Buy their jets.
Climate and pizza conference.
May as well have the slopes while you're there. I mean, don't be wasteful.
Yeah. So what else is in the news, gentlemen? Other than
well, I mean, you got to hit the
half
slopes
of,
while you're there, because if climate change has its way, there won't be any snow ever again here in like what 10 or 12 years.
I'm okay with that. I'm in Michigan, man. No snow would be great.
So I know
Easy now. It's hot enough here. No.
Yeah.
Don't wish for
Yeah,
that.
we don't.
Like
Dagon's already living in hell. He doesn't want to actually be living in hell.
But I think it was back in like
he wants to say it's hot as hell and not actually mean it.
I know we've talked about it before, but it was back sometime in like 2010 to 2012 was when they officially changed the language from global warming to climate change because
That's not right.
Because they did all these like surveys and polls and stuff, and it turns out people really don't like cold weather and really don't like snow. So was viewed as a net positive, and it wasn't getting the negative reaction that they were hoping for. So that was when they changed it to climate change, because people didn't dislike global warming enough. How fucked up is that? Your entire environmental crisis is based on what people will react the best to, and when they weren't reacting the way you wanted them to global warming, then you had to change the name of it. They would actually know that this is serious and this is a threat.
I've mentioned this before on here, but I remember that time period because I was kind of in that world, and like I remember sort of before it changed, like hearing people have discussions about it and being like, it's not, and even let's say good faith argument from them. They're like, well, because global, it's not just warming, right? So they're like, what should we call it? And I remember things being floated out like climate deterioration or something like that. Because you're right, it's not only that it didn't scare people enough, but it wasn't. Even if let's say you do believe in that, right? It's not just warming. It's we're getting storms and we're getting this part's warming, but this part, everything's just going haywire. You know what I mean? So it's like global warming just wasn't accurate enough to portray the actual size of the devastation that we were facing. So we got to be, we got to have a better term for it.
I don't know if I'm a little older than you, but in the early 80s, they were calling it global cooling.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that we're going to freeze.
Ice age
now, ice age, and then it went from that to global warming, and now it's just climate change because the problem is
anything climate change.
Yeah, you have cycles. You always have cycles.
Guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen I've seen this word used to describe it everywhere, which is always funny to me. But they say it would be unheard of or unthinkable that a hurricane could do damage in the mountains like that, because they're so far from the coast. Unthinkable. And all the different, environmentalist shit, they're using that term. But then they blame that. Anytime there's a storm, it's there it is. There's the climate change for you. And I don't know, dude. I even, when the storm was coming, I asked you guys, Trey and Clyde and them, I was like, are you guys ready for this fucking thing? I'm like, it's going to miss me, but you never know when it fucking moves up in there. It's not, because I don't know, was it a hurricane in Tennessee? Was it hurricane force winds of 73 miles an hour, or was it just rain from the hurricane that flooded? I don't know the answer to that.
The rain probably did most of the flooding, it caused most of the flooding, but the wind pushing it probably into places where where it pulls up and everything.
What is it? Hurricane is 72 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, I think something like that. 65 to 72,
yeah, that sounds right.
That's
I think
that's
I don't know, man. We don't deal with hurricanes up here in Michigan, man. We deal with snowstorms. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
All right, so you'll love this. It's called the Simpson scale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we can Dag's learning corner for a minute. So to be 74 miles an hour to be a category 1 hurricane, 39 miles an hour to be a tropical storm. Dude, we get 39 mile an hour winds here in a regular storm. But yeah, so that's I guess that's my being, nitpicky. It's like, oh, did a hurricane actually hit Tennessee or whatever? I don't know if that classifies. I mean, either way, that's a big.
They said it was like Cat 1 when it was passing over us, even, or like, so I figure it was probably still at minimum a high level tropical storm. So.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I was talking with 2-Bit last night. He made a good point. It's like, if we have all this climate change bullshit going on, we're spending all this money on like all this crazy stuff. Why aren't we banking money so when these disasters do happen that we're able to take care of them? If they're supposed to be happening more and more.
Well, that's practical.
Well, there's a lot of.
We all know the answer to the question, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, like y'all are doing the conspiratorial thing, but even just in our general economic system, we rely a lot on just-in-time delivery. So I don't know if you guys know about just-in-time delivery.
Oh yeah,
and credit. So
yeah, credit too.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm not even being conspiratorial. It's just
it's
government's not going to do that and have it make sense. Conspiratorial would be they'd rather there be a big emergency so they can come in and look useful.
Yeah. It's not, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy thing. I'm just saying it's like it just proves how inept these people are.
Only
how they're not
time it doesn't look like.
But yeah, I mean, it's especially since the Federal Reserve's existence, that's not the way that people operate by saving and being prepared. It's when something happens, you put it on the credit card. That's just the way that over the last 100 years plus now we've all been sort of trained to operate. And that's why your weird old grandpa who keeps money in a coffee can, was actually the most practical.
I can't remember if we talked about it on this show or if I talked about it with Johnny on Peddling Fiction last week, but and they act like this doesn't happen every year. Like, it's about this time every year you have hurricane season where the hurricanes come up and they either come up the East Coast or they come up into the Gulf and hit in the Gulf area. Like, literally every year. You can set your watch by it. It's been happening for as long as I've been alive, probably for as long as the fucking earth has existed. Like, and you they act like it's getting so much worse. It's like, did we forget about Hurricane Andrew? Did we forget about Katrina? Did we forget about what was the one that hit what was the one that hit the Northeast back
Andrew
about 10 years ago? No, Andrew was back in the 90s. This is the one that hit up in the Northeast about 10 years ago.
Is that the one that hit New York?
Yeah, because it sent some gale force winds across this way, and we had 70, 80 mile an hour wind gusts here, this far inland. Tore a tarp off of a ground pile at the grain elevator that I was working at. Gosh, what was that one? Now I can't remember. Anyway.
Are you talking about New Jersey or New York? I was thinking of the one in New Jersey. It was Sandy.
Sandy, that was it. Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That one hit New York too, didn't it?
It kind of crossed over.
Yeah, I think it was like New Jersey and shit.
Because it flooded the subway. Like,
New York and New Jersey are the same thing.
Yeah. But I mean, it flooded all the subways in New York.
I think I just remember Sandy because of Christie. I think it was. He was out there trying to make a big show about him being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I remember it. Sandy is just because Sandy and Christie like clicked in my brain when somebody said Sandy. It's like, that's it. That's the one.
Is that where he shut down the bridges?
I can't remember about the bridges, but
yeah, there's a lot of Chris Christie. God, what a grimace! Chris Christie's always just like the funniest politician.
Literally, you put the mask or the costume on him, and he's just grimace.
So I saw on the news yesterday they're looking at they're thinking 1,000+ death toll for this hurricane, which is really fucking insane. The biggest one still was 1928, and it killed 2,500 people in Florida and Okeechobee.
And there was massive SUV problems back then with global warming.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, huge. Well, what's funny, just because we're
Yes.
talking about the terminology they use, this one had like there was another hurricane like a year before that Miami wasn't Miami yet, but it basically destroyed what Miami was. And they said, okay, cool. Well, now that this once in a lifetime event of a hurricane is come and gone, we can go ahead and build a giant city here and never have to worry about a hurricane again. And then 1928, this one comes through and like annihilated, Miami again. But really what had happened was they were fucking around with Lake Okeechobee and they're like, oh, we'll dam it up and we'll get rid of the Everglades and we'll turn the Everglades into wintertime vegetable farming for the rest of the country. So, that's what they were trying to do. So all these like migrant workers were down there, farming vegetables for the Northeast, and the lake overflowed their stupid levees that they built. And like it just fucking, they all fucking drowned, in their little fucking shacks they lived in south of the
natural selection. I mean, sorry.
they were white people, white Americans, migrant workers back then.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so,
sorry.
yeah. Watch out, Steve. Yeah, they were probably people from Michigan coming here for work.
Probably.
Isn't it
But
crazy?
Isn't
Cleared
it
up.
crazy
How, like Mother Nature gives you certain cues and hints, and like alligators and hurricanes and shit, and like swamps and everything. It's like, hey, maybe this isn't a good place for humans to try to live. And then we're like, oh, we should go there and grow fucking fruits and vegetables year round. Like, oh, yeah, that's
the fucking audacity of people, right? The fucking
that's why Florida is a vacation spot.
Well, there's certain things like the Everglades is a specific part of Florida. That's just it's one of the most like untamable places, and now they have to spend they're trying to fix it all,
like
back the way it was. They realize they fucked up. So they spend billions of dollars a year to try to fucking fix it now. It's the whole thing.
What do they call it? Like reclaiming
It's
what do they
dude.
call it?
It's beyond reclamation.
I know there's a project.
Reclamation is a term, but it's a whole nother level of like reclamation because they have to like rebuild like the rivers that they destroyed because they were there for a fucking reason. Like basically everything like south of Lake Okeechobee was a river, and they said, nah, fuck that. We're smarter than that. Oh, it's
really.
And
I heard God might have created it on purpose.
What's that?
You said really God might have created it on purpose?
Yeah. Like it's like the city of Phoenix. It's an affront to God. Like that you would try to build a city there. I'm like, oh, we'll just air condition it. Like it's like, oh God, it's just fucking insane. Yeah, there's just certain places, that you don't. Houston, great example. It's a floodplain. Yeah. What the fuck do you expect?
None of it's going to matter in 12 years anyway, because it's all going to be in the ocean. At least if Greta Thunberg is right. You know what's crazy?
If that's California, I'm good with that. I have no problems with that.
Last time I was home, I asked my dad if he still had it. So there was this book from the 70s that was saying this is what the United States was like, this exact map. This is what the United States is going to look like in 1996. This book was written in the 70s. And so, like, Dad had it. Last time I was home, I was like, you still got that book? He said, no, I threw that thing out. I was like, damn it, you got to keep that stuff. That's perfect evidence of they've been saying this exact same thing, showing this exact same fucking map for 50 years, and it still hasn't happened because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Now, if it would take out, like, California and New York, I'm okay with it. I don't think we should have any problems with that.
Yeah, I know, but then we lose Florida in the process. Oh. Such a heavy loss. At least with California, New York, if we can segregate those people there, and then I get to still have Florida, that's cool.
Send all the Californians that are living in Florida back to Florida.
We're talking about building a wall here. I mean, I'm just saying we're building on the wrong border.
Right. We need to build a wall. Build a wall around Chicago, New York, most of all of the big cities in California. Just wall all of that shit in, like protect them from rising coastlines. And, once the walls are built, then lock the gates and start
throw a wall around. Throw a wall at the Mason-Dixon. I don't know. Just tossing ideas out here.
I like that idea.
Yeah, but aren't you on the other side there, Mr. Justin?
Not for more than a few more years.
Oh.
We can make some minor adjustments. Like I said, we're just spitballing here, you know.
I'd say just drive out through the countryside, and if you see more Confederate and Trump flags than you do American flags, then just draw the line there. Like,
yeah. Until you start seeing like Harris Waltz, like banners and hanging out in
there's always one
house.
house. Like there's always one house in every little town, but it's like the union boss for whatever the local shop is. Like everybody else that's in the union has their Trump flag out there, but the union boss, they are hardcore Democrats. They know who's lining their pockets. Like they don't.
I finally saw the first Harris Waltz like whatever yard sign in the wild, and I was like, what the hell? But I mean, then
you don't even recognize the name and logo because you don't see it everywhere.
Well, yeah, but because like it
makes you pause for a second to notice the faggotry.
Well, it's not even like it was just a black like white text on black banner. Like that's all it was. Harris Waltz, and it had a little maybe a little bit of red, like just for like 24 or whatever. And that was it. And but I saw it and I was like, oh, I know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I know who's.
Oh, it's those people.
I know who's voting for.
Dude, same, man. I've seen so few, even in like, you know, when I was working in like St. Pete and shit, like over there. I mean, there's a gay flag in every yard. You know what I mean? And maybe I saw one Harris Waltz sign and maybe one sticker on a car. And you're right, dude. They don't have like, it doesn't seem like they have an official like a logo or anything that like sticks out. Some other things I've seen, I did see a line of people on the side of the road with signs like honk for Harris Waltz, you know, whatever. And usually I honk at people just for fun and to make them feel good. And I was like, oh, is there a boo button, you know? But I've seen like sort of like handmade signs that say things like fight tyranny or something. Then I'm like, depending on whichever side you're on, you just think that side's for your side already. You know, like I've seen like non-descriptive signs that I feel like the person who made it must think that everybody who sees it knows what that means. But I honestly don't even know like who it's supposed to be for, you know?
So Dag, real quick, that cup you just had in your hand, did you get that from Buc-ee's?
I don't think so. Well, Wayne gave that to me.
I got a couple of those from Buc-ee's last time we were down there.
It's nice. It's a big ass mug.
I love Buc-ee's.
See, I still haven't been to a Buc-ee's. I have to make the trek.
Good brisket. Actually decent. Not great, but decent brisket.
Yeah, the barbecue sandwiches are good. So I don't know what they put in them beaver nuggets, but
I don't think you want to know.
Yeah, it's some questions are best left unanswered.
Yes. We
were talking about food ingredients the other day, you know.
Yep.
I just want to know if they're using a prime cut of the beaver or if it's, you know, elbows and assholes kind of thing. I'm just kidding. I think they're like cheese puffs or some shit.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually had them.
It's like the first place my wife wants to go when we get down there is the Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah, there's one right there.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Right in Daytona.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it is. Like 180 pumps or something like that, 130 gas pumps. It's insane. 600.
Well, they need it for race weekend. Like,
yeah.
Apparently, Talladega has race weekend coming up. Everybody's like, oh, the traffic, the Talladega traffic. That's all I hear. That's all I see on the pages whenever Dega weekend is just
the track's
Talladega
okay, right?
Yeah, the track's fine.
Good.
As far as I know, nothing happened yet. So.
You know, I've never thought about it, but when is the Daytona race? Is that over the summer?
February. They have
Jesus.
two. They have a February, and then one.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna be down there during that.
Dude, anywhere right by the track, there's always people in like trying to drive like dickheads. Like I don't know, something about being in the vicinity of the track.
Yeah.
Like whatever that.
That track's right by the airport too, okay? Which sucks.
We need amateur tracks again, so morons like that can get it out of their system.
Dude, yeah, whenever I'm always on, and just anytime in that area, there's a lot of traffic. I'm always on guard. I'm old. I get nervous driving in driving in the cities.
Yes, I do too, man. I grew up in the city and I hate driving in the city now.
Oh man, yeah, it's just
Dude,
it's
going
awful.
to Birmingham is the worst.
It can't be anywhere like right now over on the east side of the state by the Detroit area where my parents live. People run red lights all the time. Like nobody stops anymore. And now it's to the point where when a light turns green, you wait about 5 seconds to make sure that nobody's going to run the light and hit you if you're to take off.
I've had to do that several times. Actually, just this past week, there was a guy who he literally he saw the red light and like I thought he was gonna he slowed and then I think he saw that like okay I can still make it, so he just jets right through it and it was already red for him and I already had my green on my side, so I waited a second because I was like, this dick is just plowing right through. So I'm just gonna let him go. Like, just let him go.
It's so messed up when you're like, you know, it's bad when you go through the light that just turned yellow and you got 6 cars behind you. They're going through it, and you're like, no, that's red, man. That's been red for a good 10 seconds. You got to stop that shit. Like, you're gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if it, honestly, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, if I would have went and I have kids in the back, dude, we're just we're done. Like,
yep.
I was like, oh man, bastards.
Yep, no respect anymore.
So apparently, sorry, go ahead. Okay. News, I guess. Online voting in Alaska's Fat Bear Week contest starts after an attack killed one contestant. I guess every year they do a fat bear contest. There's a bunch of cameras all over this peninsula, which is kind of fun. But I guess on camera, one of the female bears was killed by a male bear during a fight. Yeah, so
I can understand that right now.
Yeah, they delayed the here's the brackets. They delayed the start of that. I didn't realize this was a thing. It's it sucks, but it is kind of funny to me that all the people who are probably the same people who would get out and take a picture with the bear, if they were at one of the parks, that maybe one of them had to watch this and be like, oh my god, they're killing each other.
Like, oh, now you understand why they're dangerous.
They even kill each other.
But would a woman rather live with that?
Yeah. Then there's that whole thing. Oh, that's right.
You remember that one?
I do. The bear. It still comes up sometimes.
Oh, okay. So Fat Bear Week. Where do we vote?
I don't know. I don't know how we vote. I just pulled this up. I was just trying to find funny news.
I want to vote for the one with the most retarded name. Just being honest.
So yeah, okay. Well, there we go. Because that's what I was curious is how they name them. As of now, they're just like the female bear that was killed was known as female bear number 402. But then I think come winter time though, not winter time. Let's see. I think they give them names. Well, at least okay.
There's just numbers. I don't know.
Well, this one here, for the baby ones, they gave him a nickname Gully after he developed a taste for seagulls.
That's awesome.
Okay, this one was so large they gave it the number Bear 747 after the airplane.
Okay.
So I guess if they win enough, maybe they get a name or at least a nickname.
That's
Chunk.
Awesome.
Because the 20-year-old male who once devoured 42 salmon in 10 hours. Bear 151, nicknamed Walker. I don't know. Yeah, the names aren't that good. They could be better. You think for Fat Bear Week.
You gotta have something creative, like.
That's it. We're gonna rename all the bears. Let's do it.
Down the line.
On Monday, we're gonna rename bears. That's gonna be the job for Monday's show.
We've got a Diva Beaver story.
I had a good Florida
They
man story,
they
but I
build
can't
their
find it
damn
now.
dams everywhere. Like,
Oh, the Massachusetts governor decided it's going to stay at the center. He's doing the Lord's work. Oh, it is cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
see that's pretty cool.
I've never.
If it wasn't a territorial destructive animal, I mean, I would.
Gotta be careful about how I phrase. I've never seen a young beaver. I don't think I had a.
Not even when you were 14?
Yeah, I mean, those are banked memories. That's okay. That's
Okay.
safe.
Yeah.
Dag is just
you're
worried
beaver hunting when you were 14, right?
Dag's just afraid of the of accusations.
At least they're wearing protection.
Oh, it's so hard to laugh with half a face.
Yeah.
Speaking of half a face, Uncle Ruckus has half a face.
Okay.
So this is funny. Apparently, so there's a Trump had one of his tweets. So I haven't seen this in a while, but there was this thing where some accounts were setting up where, like, if you like their tweet, like, hey, like this tweet, and I'll send you another, like, I'll send you information on whatever this thing coming up. And so, occasionally a couple times, like, oh, hey, I'm going to like this tweet because I need to remember when, like, that's going to come out or whatever, like this movie or whatever. So they haven't done this in a while, but it's like Trump, I'll send you important election updates for North Carolina. Make sure you're ready to vote. And so, like, apparently this parody Uncle Ruckus account or whatever is liked it. And so it says, OG Uncle Ruckus, I'll send you in updates. It says, my dear white man, together we shall make this country what it once was. I love that. It was,
Do you frequent the library much, Steve?
No.
No? Okay, so you're not to blame for infesting the Detroit libraries with bed bugs?
No, I would have nothing to do with that. Plus, it's 3 hours away.
That's what you get for letting homeless people come in to use the bathroom, I guess.
Oh man,
I mean, that's pretty much exclusively.
It looks like they came out of a DVD case.
So my brother-in-law is a librarian. I can't remember. It's somewhere around Indy, but it's not Indy. Like, it's out away from Indy. Anyway, he's a librarian in one of the bigger cities in Indiana.
Wait, brother-in-law?
Yes.
Straight?
What?
He's nothing. Librarian? Is a straight male librarian?
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry.
He's a big history buff. Not like a high school librarian, like a librarian. Like, he went to school to be a librarian. Like, you have to have
just messing with you, man. You
have to have all these degrees, and like they basically require a master's to run these big libraries. And he's like stupid smart, like way too smart. Anyway, so he runs this big ass library, and he complains all the time because like 90% of his job is running homeless people out who are trying to sleep in the bathroom and look up porn on the internet. Like, this was not the prestigious thing that he was hoping, being a librarian, like having all of this information.
Yeah, but he gets paid pretty well to do that.
Not really.
No?
No.
Librarians not paid though.
Yeah. Maybe if you work at like a big
college,
university or something.
Yes, a big university library or like a national library or something. But just like working at a
union librarian,
if working at like a regular library, even though they require a degree, they like a master's to be the librarian, they still don't make great money.
Is that why they're all grumpy at the one by us? You ask them to look up a book, and they're like, well, you can look it up yourself. It's like, well, that's what you're here for. Like, you're literally here for that job.
Don't you know how to use the card catalog, for crying out loud?
The Dewey Decimal System?
Oh, Justin, I watched a few episodes of The English Teacher the other day. It was pretty fucking funny. Not bad. It's funny because the wife was like, "Man, who recommended this to you?" And I was like, "Justin." And she's like, "Really?" Because of all the gay stuff in it, you know. And I'm like, right, but it's like there's a purpose to this gayness. Like,
Right.
It's
That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with gay characters. I have a problem when the gay character has nothing to offer the show except being gay. And this is like,
I guess is kind of the point. Is kind of the thing with him, but that's part of the story, though. It's where these storylines branch off of that are funny because they're like, I don't know, they're not like pro-gay, but not like anti-gay, but they're not, you know.
Is that the one
kind of
we
real?
watched the trailer for the other day?
yeah, and the one where they're like, we don't know. The students weren't sure if they could come to him about some sort of a gay issue because they didn't think that he would. They didn't think that he was gay friendly. Like he's like, I am gay. And they're like, yeah, but you're not really like that kind of gay.
He brings in the his drag queen friend to teach the boys how to do powder puff.
And
ends up being like a total criminal stealing all this shit. It's fucking awesome. I don't want to spoil it. I'll stop. It's funny.
It is really funny.
Yeah,
like,
because right when you're like, oh, like they're making some pro-gay point, and then it comes out, it's like, oh, wait, this is actually pretty bad or something. It's funny person.
What is this on?
Hulu.
Yeah, I was watching on Hulu. It's an FX show, but it's but yeah, it's good. It's one of those that's just funny from all sides. You know what I mean?
Have you watched the most recent one, the gun control one?
No, we've only watched like 3 episodes or so the other day, but I'm gonna keep.
I won't spoil it for you. It's good. It's good. It's
it's a trip.
I'll put that on my winner list. No
Yeah,
wonder we don't go outside.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. You might have to see guys kiss once or twice, but it's it's not too.
Right, like there's
it's not too gay.
Yeah,
there's some gay shit and there's some dumb woke shit, but all of it is also countered by the other side of it.
Not as gay as Lindsey Graham.
No, not at all. But that dude, man.
Well, did you see I put a link up in the private chat.
Lindsey Graham saying, "Yeah, it's terrible that all these people affected by the hurricanes are having so much trouble, but we really need to focus on
Israel,
sending money to Israel." I'm like,
yeah,
somebody needs to drag that motherfucker out back and not do the things
when you have Sean Hannity saying no, like when you have Sean Hannity not defending Israel, that's a huge. I mean, like that's a huge red pill right there. Like,
yeah, you've gone too far.
Yeah. When you offend Sean Hannity on Israel, like saying Israel deserves more than, like, you can hear him say it in here too. He's like, no.
Let's watch.
You can thank Donald Trump and Elon Musk for that. I've been going all over South Carolina like most people. I hadn't slept much. But look what's going on in Israel. Our friends in Israel surrounded by people that want to
like
kill
an
them,
effeminate southerner.
Second Holocaust in the
effeminate southern homo.
Biden says be proportional. What is the proportional response to people who want to kill you and your family? God. They're running out of ammunition in Israel.
Do you hear Hannity back there? He's like, oh God.
Said, oh God.
Oh, I thought that was you, Steve.
No, that was Hannity.
Go back.
No, I believe you. That's funny. I did hear it.
Turn it up.
Handy's like,
that's how it goes.
All over South Carolina, like most people, I hadn't slept much. But look what's going on in Israel. Our friends in Israel surrounded by people that want to kill
just immediate. Oh, so he just pivots from hurricane talk to Israel talk.
Be proportional. What is the proportional response to people who want to kill you and your family? God. They're running out of ammunition.
Hanny's back there going, oh God. Because he's like, what the hell are you talking about?
So I've been not paying attention to that shit.
About flooding.
Yeah.
In your state.
Yeah. And you're talking about Israel. What a piece of shit.
Okay, so is that why Hannity was getting like that way, or is like the real, like, is that, I don't want to say that side, is that class of people, by that I mean like right-wing news people, are they starting to change their tune on the whole Israel thing? Because I know a lot of them were.
I don't know if he's changing his tune on Israel, but
okay, but it was because of the pivot there. Gotcha.
Just the fact that he had him on talking about his state, being devastated, and he pivots to Israel and saying that we need to support Israel and not his own state. I mean, that man needs to be dragged out of office in a voting way,
or not.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's like
after a fair trial, he should be X, Y, and Z. Maybe we can send him down and use him as python bait.
Ooh,
another.
Jimmy
These
Carter
are
is
invasive to the
apparently being
Everglades.
dragged out.
Hold on.
These are invasive to the Everglades, but the fact that they have overrun it is just another thing to back up our statement earlier that some places you're just not supposed to. Like God is telling you, stay the fuck out of here. You know?
Yeah.
You guys want to go on a python hunt with me though? I thought it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll be down there next week, man. Let's do it.
I do want to go. I haven't spent much time in the Everglades at all. I would like to go down there and go camping. I bet it's a cool place.
I'm not catching them with my bare hands. I've seen that there was a guy just like there was this guy on TikTok or whatever. Apparently, he just goes around. And he just like yoink, like he just like literally he just says.
Oh yeah, dude. I follow a lot of not swamp people, but they're like swamp appreciator people who are like in Florida and Everglades. And dude, they just go out at night in the glades barefoot, bro, walking around in like foot deep water. Oh look, here's a snake, and they grab it. And here's a bug, and they grab it. And oh, there's an alligator, and they poke it with a stick, and it runs away. And he's like, "Get out of here!" Like like I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like I'm, like I mean, I spend time in the woods and all, but like, fuck, man, I ain't that ballsy.
Steve might not be the best choice to take python hunting since he's got half an eye.
Yeah, right.
I
might shoot you instead.
Just saying, you might want somebody that's actually going to be able to see the thing coming.
Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah. I wouldn't be good right now. Maybe in a couple weeks.
Man, the winter got 20 of them, dude. There's got to be so many of those fucking things down there, dude. If you just come out with 20 of those bastards, he's the best, obviously, but per the trophy, I assume you win.
What do they do with them?
I'm sure they exterminate them.
Speaking of trophies, apparently
and donate them to the local Haitian community. I don't know.
They'll just use them for voodoo shit, though.
Well, I hope they don't. I hope they don't donate President Jimmy Carter to the Haitians.
Dude, he is so dead.
Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
Way. This is not a living man.
No.
Former President Jimmy Carter celebrated his 100th birthday. I feel like they had to do that because they were like, okay, he's 99. We have to at least make it pretend like he's 100.
Yeah, he's been in hospice for like a year, dude. Nobody's in hospice that long.
Yeah, I know. My grandfather was like only in hospice for like 6 months. I mean,
oh hell, if you get more than a couple months in hospice,
yeah, look at him. He's dead. The guy's not alive.
Oh, it's like the Pope back in 05.
Yeah.
Who's the dude? Is that his son?
The black guy?
No.
Yeah. Like,
no,
what is he doing there?
Protection. He's the bouncer.
There's nothing to protect. The dude's dead.
Are we sure that's even a real person?
The black dude or Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter. It looks like paper mache, it looks like the rubbery stuff that they make like the fake bodies with.
Yeah.
Yeah, no clue, man. That's just insane. And he's still gonna vote for Harris. Hey, Dag, you're peeking out behind yourself.
Are you? He's messing with something.
I think his camera froze.
Is my camera look like that to y'all too? Where it's like frozen, yeah. It's like half of
yeah.
Me? Hey. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm here though. I had to go for a second to take a call. There we go. It looks like that's just me now if I do this.
It's a cool fact.
Oh man. Oh well. Thanks, OBS.
So the title, we have to talk about that article.
Oh yeah, does anybody have that one handy? The BO haters.
Oh, let me see. I had it.
I'll be right back.
There's, like there's people who, like, I have like friends. They always post like come summertime, like online about like they're very big like BO haters, and they post about people in public, smelling, and it's called deodorant, da 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 da. And like, I'll get done like working. I've been in the sun for like 3 hours, and like, it's not my underarms that stink. It's like the whole rest of my body and clothes has been drenched with sweat and then dried out. I just fucking stink, dude. It don't matter if I fucking wear deodorant.
Yeah, I mean, you
go in the store. It's like, bitch, I'm going in to get a fucking bottle of water and a fucking beer, and if you gotta smell my ass for 2 seconds, fuck you. I'm building your shit.
Now that's completely different than the problem that so there's like trading card game tournaments or whatever. Apparently they have to implement policies against people like stinky people.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to an indoor event like that, take a fucking shower and put on some deodorant, right? Like, come on, you have no excuse there.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, like, just out in public, there's like you're in open air most of the time anyway, or even if you're like going to Walmart or whatever, like there's I'm gonna go past this person for 2 seconds. They might stink, and I might say, "Oh God, that smells awful," but then I just go on about my day. Like, there's nothing to like make a big deal about with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's like, some people you can tell they're just they're just like homeless and they got like piss on themselves, and it's like, oh well, that's gross. But then there's some people who are just like, if they look like a fucking hippie, and they stink, then you're gonna be, come on, dude, get your shit together, But the dude in the high vis shirt, he's allowed to be a little stinky, right? And hey, there's a good chance that the guy in the high vis shirt is a migrant, so maybe there is some correlation here. I don't know.
Migrant or illegal?
I mean,
migrant according to their data.
Could be either. I mean, they don't necessarily, a lot of the, a lot of people who are migrant workers, damn it, Steve, why do you do this? It could be either.
Deactivated the autism.
It's not just in the U.S. This was a study done across 9 countries.
Oh. Well, I mean, in fairness, probably, we've talked about this before, every country has their Mexicans. So, it still goes to stand to get the people who move there to do the gross fucking work might be the stinky ones.
Oh, it wasn't even. It wasn't even the United States at all. It was England, New Zealand, Canada, Nigeria, and Kenya, Hong Kong, Chile, Italy, and Sweden.
Okay, but Dag, you can't explain the office worker, the Indian office worker, who just it seems like he refuses to ever take a shower
or eat too much curry.
Sure.
And too much curry.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. And that guy should, get his shit together and stop microwaving his fucking lunch in the community microwave. There's definitely rules. And then, I mean, that guy's probably not an illegal if he's an Indian working in a fucking office.
Oh.
They have the whole marriage scam. They get in green card style. Nice and legal. Yeah. Yeah, they know how to do it.
I met a nice American woman.
When I was in my early 20s, I worked at this, it was a beauty supply company, and everybody that came in was all Korean. And just from the kimchi, oh my God, dude, the smell. Oh, the garlic kimchi. Oh God. They'd come in, there's times where you just have to walk away because you just couldn't deal with the customer. The stench was awful.
Steve would be in this category.
Yes.
Oh shit. I had this girl I went to high school with, and she ended up not going down a great path. Lots of crimes, hookering, stuff like that. And she hit me up like a year or two ago and was like, "Hey, do you want to make some money?"
Oh, jeez. This is an interesting story.
Fancy a throw, do you, Governor? She hit me up and she goes, she did good. She was like a 6 foot tall Asian chick, so she did like dominatrix shit. So she
need like a video made or something.
Yeah. But no, she asked me. She goes, she's like basically asking me, hey, you want to like marry somebody for immigration? Like she was like in like some sort of operation or some business, scam, basically like, hey, you want to make a few grand, getting somebody agreed. I was like, no, I don't. Hey, like I'm spoken for,
Well, I mean,
yeah, like wow, what a crazy thing to just hit me up with after years.
Good looking, or
I didn't get any information about the person that I'd be helping get into the country.
See, that matters. That matters. I think
Like, do you have to consummate the marriage for it to count?
Well, yeah, hey, look, maybe if I was single or something, maybe I would have asked more questions, instead of just being a no, not interested. But yeah, I am.
That's a good job for Mark. I think we can get Mark a good job there.
Yeah.
When he gets out of prison, yeah.
Yeah, when he gets out of prison.
Well, I mean, he'll have to be hooked up like that. Once you're out of prison, you're in one of those kind of programs anyhow. If you're trying to find love, you're either going for the chicks who like like their daddy was in prison, so the prison pen pal kind of thing, or doing it for then you both need something, doing it for a green card thing. Yeah.
After prison, he might be willing to bring dudes over too.
Yeah, I mean, he might be.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
accommodate.
thinking. Especially that video we got coming up here soon.
Oh shit! I have another friend from high school that now that I've noticed that she's gotten like married to a foreign person several times and then quickly like divorced. And I'm wondering if that was some sort of scam thing. Wow.
Now you're starting to notice things that you're not supposed to be noticing.
I mean, if make you guys feel any better, the last one was from like a Nordic country, a white fella. So
those are acceptable.
Yeah.
Yes, bring more Vikings.
First one was Indian.
Yeah.
See, imagine you're breeding a Viking and an Asian. You're gonna have a smart person who is barbaric. That's not good for anybody. Okay, y'all are gonna upset the ecosystem of America here.
We already had one Genghis.
Yeah, we don't need a Genghis Khan.
I don't know. Maybe we do. Take over DC.
Wasn't it something like 20% of the people in the world like today like have like his DNA or some shit?
Yeah, that's what they say.
some insane number. Oh fuck. Yeah, you're terrifying when people the Genghises are here. Well, we're just gonna all commit suicide. Like your whole fucking community just kills themselves. Because well, we don't stand a chance.
Oh no, Genghis Khan invaded. It's time to die.
Yep. Yeah, let's do it on our own terms. Why do you think they got so good at seppuku? I know that's Japanese, but I'm racist. I don't have to care. They can all be true to me.
See, Dag is joining us. He may not have the BO hatred, but
I just have the BO. Which, by the way, I have to ask. I was pulling up the edit audio avatar. Whose is this Confederate Nazi symbol here? whose is that?
That's one of mine.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Correct. Yeah, there it is.
Ooh, I like that.
You would.
I almost threw it up for just a second as a joke, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to.
I use that when we do night shows as a joke, or that's what we'll say.
Or maybe
as a joke.
I'm just saying that you don't have to believe in the whole doctrine to think there were some good ideas. And so
you got to break a few eggs.
I mean, we did like there are all the scientists.
I thought it was the commies who said let's got to break a few eggs. Either way,
yeah, but I mean, it works there
it
too.
Applies. Yeah,
yeah.
It's one of those phrases that like you really could use like a lot in like day-to-day things, but sort of like knowing like. And I'm sure somebody used it before Stalin because it was Stalin, right? I'm sure somebody used it before Stalin in like a totally like good turn of phrase way. That's probably a good moral life lesson kind of phrase. But yeah, it's like I don't like to say.
Well,
that
I mean,
anymore.
I remember it back in like if you watch them old, like there was I think there was something similar like these old kind of good. How would I say it? Like good, morally good. Kind of like advertisements kind of thing like that they had back in the day or whatever. And there was there's one teaching kids like, hey, like you should take care of things. And then there I think there was there's one that people use the phrase like that, like yep, crack a few eggs to make the omelet or whatever kind of thing. And like and meaning they had to get the turn the bad kids into better kids. That basically is what they meant.
Oh, so it's like an apple in the barrel kind of analogy too. Rotten apples, rotten eggs.
Yeah.
Rotten eggs are smelly. I cleaned up some old eggs this morning. Whew.
Yeah, we had one of the chickens was laying eggs over here randomly, and Stephanie was like cleaning out flower bed the other day and found them, and she took them in thinking that maybe they'd be good, and she cracked one of them, and it was not. So we had to float test all of them, and yeah, like out of like a dozen that were over there were 2 of them were good. Yeah, that was rough.
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm done.
I was thinking about going into rotten egg talk. I'm like, we've already had rotten egg talk on the show so many times. Do I really need to revisit it?
I say we forget what we talk about, and then we talk about the same thing over and over again because we're all kind of retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.